And we're live. We're live. We're live. It's 2:03 and August 6th. You know, you guys, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Doing. Are you doing well? I surely hope so, because class is in sesh. There we go. Chop, 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 chop. Boom, 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 boom. Put 'em up. Boom. Put 'em up. Boom. Put 'em up. Boom. We ready to go, baby. Warriors. Warriors in Jesus. Yes, I am putting high heels on because they make me feel tall. And like, they just do things. They just do things for a woman, you know? Really do. And look who we's hanging with today. Jesus. Couldn't be any better. Look at this awesome picture. I'm really liking this setup, like the caution tape on the bottom. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Excuse me, I just burped. Excuse moi. Excuse moi. So yeah, we got Jesus. We got 2 Bibles, because I ain't messing around today. Yeah, it's going to be a good word. We're hanging out with Jesus. I definitely feel like a preschool teacher right now that's about to do like story time and like sharing like and I even have like props. This is literally how like preschool teachers sit. Like, this is what preschool teachers wear. And this is how happy preschool teachers are. Oh, Jesus. What a good man. What a stellar man. Look at, he's like the entertainer. He's a homie. He's like, Last Supper, let's ball out, bruh. He's got bread. What an amazing time to be alive. What an amazing time. So if you're catching this sweet gal or beautiful, gentle, handsome man on the other side of the screen, know that this message is for you. It is a bit warm. This is why I like tank tops, but it's okay. I think I'm just a warm human, you know? I have lots to offer. But yeah, you know, I'm just kicking it. We just kicking it. We're going to have a great message today. You have to integrate in order to be great. You do. You do. And I got Bible verses, and I got a couple of stories to share. I want to show you guys this too. Okay, look at. Isn't this cool? Well, not that part. He was, bruh. He is. Look how awesome Jesus is. Isn't he beautiful? This is what I put on my guitar thing when I'm out playing, and I put this with my tip thing so people can see that I love Jesus. And share the gospel. Okay, you know what? I'm actually really dying. I need a. Why is this shirt like lock it in? I think I get excited and I like heat my own body up with like my ADHD excitement or something. I'm dying. Wearing rags. Literally wearing rags. All right. Hopefully this isn't. I'm really not trying to be sexy. It's just it's hot and being a woman. Okay. So why is it? This is the only tank top like So sometimes life, there's like things thrown at us, and it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. And I've been like getting rid of clothes, so I just don't have clothes to wear. I'm literally always in rags. It's hilarious. One time I showed up for like rehearsal, and the director was like, "You're literally wearing rags. We have to go to wardrobe now. You're wearing rags." I know. It's like I've just been getting rid of stuff, so I don't want to pack a bunch of stuff, so I've been like literally just getting rid of clothes that, yeah. Maybe that's one of the things, like integrate in order to be great, because things happen in life and it doesn't feel great. And I'm sure you've heard of alchemist. I'm sure alchemy. I'm sure you've heard of transmuting. These things are necessary. The AC is literally right there. Maybe it's because I think this like podium thing is like. So I did sleep with the boot on last night, and my foot does feel better. The boot does help. But I probably won't be skating for the rest of the summer or whatever, and that's something I integrate, in order to be great. Yep, it's a good life. But there's things that are like disappointing, and we have to learn how to like not let it steal our peace. So I pray today that what I share will be something that comforts those who need comforting and consoling those who need consolation, and if I can offer any reprieve for any of those who feel like they're suffering. That's what I'm here for today. I want to reprieve. I want to relieve heaviness that you may feel. And so I'm going to teach on how integration is necessary in order to be great. I was just like hanging out, chilling, and I love working from home. It's like the best thing ever. It is literally the best thing ever. Like if I'm too hot, I can like change into a tank top really quick and then come back on. Like that's so cool. So there's a lot of blessings, but like I lean back. Yeah. You know how oil comes from olive oil? Olives need to get pressed into the vats in order to create delicious olive oil that you like cook with, and you like grease the pan. So that's and then diamonds, like underneath all that pressure or whatever it was before. It's cool. I'm smart. I know things. And then it creates a diamond, and it wouldn't have gone through that process if it wasn't put through the pressure. And then grapes gotta be like squished and pressed, and then you enjoy some nice wine on your terrace with your familia, and you look over the vistas, and you're like, this tastes lovely, and it's like a little treat. It's the beautiful outcome of work put in. So if you're catching this right now and you're thinking that everything kind of just feels like it's not even worth any of the effort, or that you feel like maybe your suffering's in vain, that's an illusion. That's an illusion that the world wants us to believe, so that we go out and buy things to satiate the illusion. And we're surrounded by illusions. We're living in a simulation, in a matrix with agents, and there's glitches all the time. So we create our own reality with our thoughts. And if my grandpa always said, what's the point in not being optimistic? I Okay, I'm getting like a lot right now of like what to share. A lot of stories, and then we have Bible verses too, which you can see in the little description. But my grandpa was he became a commissioned officer for the U.S. Navy, and he was curious about. He was born 1919, and he was curious about the becoming a pilot, and he had asked to be taken to Iwo Jima, and there was like sunset. It was like a lot of sun at that time, like shining, and the altitude was misjudged. And so he actually survived a horrific pilot crash, plane crash on the tarmac, because like the sun was shining, and the altitude was like misjudged. So there was a horrific plane crash, but he survived it. He was like in near the front, and he was like one out of 3 people that survived. And then he was coming back from just being told that he had been commissioned as a U.S. Navy officer, lieutenant commander, like a pretty high-ranking lieutenant. And he was on his way to tell his dad the good news. And on his way there, he had gotten a phone call that his father had tragically died in a construction accident. And this was right after he had gotten married. And so have you ever noticed that in life, legit, like there is no victory without tragedy? So my grandpa always said, what's the point in not being optimistic? Because people are always like, you've lost quite a bit. And then when he fell in love with my grandma at a high school dance, and then they went to Willamette University in Salem, and they married in his like junior senior year, and they were together for a long time. But then he lost her to like chronic lung disease, and I think he spent he lost her pretty early, and people were like, you've experienced like big wins and big losses. How do you maintain? How are you still smiling with some of these like tragedies? And his response was, what's the point in not being optimistic? So I say all that and share all that to say that when we practice optimism up here, we create luck in our reality out here. And that's so powerful, because no matter what's going to happen in life, I feel like it's just not right enough. Come on. Okay. I'm wearing rags. It's cool. It's cool. So I like wearing rags. It's fine. We're gonna experience good and bad in this life, no matter how good of a person you are, and no matter how many good thoughts you think and how many good deeds you do. There's always going to be the lurking demon peeking through his blinds, trying to get you in a gotcha moment. And this is why we pray. And this is why the Bible says to pray without ceasing. But this can be disappointing and discouraging, can't it? Can't it be very, very discouraging that you're constantly being the best you can be and cheerful and self-sufficient, and you hum by yourself because you're happy and people glare at you for example, when you're just kind of like smirking to yourself about something funny, about a memory that you had years ago that makes you happy in the moment. And they want that. They want your happiness. They want your self-sufficientness, sufficiency. And so there's always gonna be envy and jealousy and those spirits operating. And God will protect us, of course, and we're divinely protected. But oh my gosh, I just love these heels. Oh my gosh, they're a gift from God. These heels were a gift from God. Can you guys see them? I was walking in Harlem, and the shoes I had a big hole in them from skating, because when you slide, you like eventually get more and more holes on the bottom of your shoe. I blow out all my shoes from skating. But there was like a church, and I was like, and they were doing like a clothing drive and like a food drive. And I said, do you guys happen to have any shoes like size 8? Because there's a hole in my boot, and I like can feel the asphalt while I walk. And I was like in the city and stuff, and I was on my way to go buy new shoes. So God provided for me, and that's where these heels are from. They're from a church in Harlem. It's so comfortable to sit with heels on, because when you're short, you're just like, anyway, God provides. It's like amazing. It's beautiful. It's really, there's miracles that happen every single day. And so when we stay optimistic, we create even more of a possibility that a miracle can happen in a minute from now, in 10 minutes from now, in 12 hours from now, and today, and then the next day. And no one can take that away from you. That's your like gridlock, like ironclad strong, like in your mind, that you're creating positive thoughts no matter what negativity is happening out here. No matter how much hate or jealousy or envy that you can feel from others, it's gonna be your superpower to be optimistic. And we're gonna if you're gonna get a massive blessing, you went through a massive test. So when people are envious that other people are being blessed in front of their own eyes, it's like, well, that should be me. It's like they didn't see what that person had to go through. And even if you tried to share with them what you experienced and how awful it was still spiritual warfare, which is hard to put into words, isn't it? Nose itches. Oh, okay. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So yeah, I hope you guys are well. We can learn a lot by asking our elders questions, you know? We can learn so much. I basically love to hang out with like my elders, and that's why I was legit best friends with Grandma. I mean, I still am, but she just is in Oregon right now. But they have answers because they've experienced like so many decades of patterns and ebb and flow, and they have like 7 decades or more, you know, for example, of like an ebb and a flow and the patterns of life. And then we have like, you know, like my peers probably have like 2 to 3 decades of the ebb and the flow. I have like 2 decades, almost 3 decades of the ebb and the flow. So when we ask elders questions, it's very important that we listen to their answers, because they've gone through like 5 more decades or so than us of the patterns of life, which is victory, tragedy, blessing, test, big blessing, initiation, massive blessing, tragedy. So if we can maintain this equilibrium of optimism, it's never wavering despite all of the, you know, external world. And you're just still telling yourself, God's got me. God comes through for me every day. Miracles happen every day. I'm going to be just fine. I am the co-creator of my own reality. I am a flexible, adaptive, easygoing, and optimistic human in this world. I have a lot to contribute, and I will never consider defeat. Boom. Like, you're gonna win. Like, that is ironclad superpower up here. My grandpa always said, what's the point in not being optimistic? You know? And I like, there's no answer. Like, nobody could like come up with like an answer to that. And I love that. We used to sit and watch Westerns when I went to Portland State University. And we'd have his birthday parties at the country club. And he lived so long. He lived 104 years old. Believe it or not. Like, you can believe me or not. But my grandpa lived until 104 years old. And I'm telling you, the optimism definitely had something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? It just did. It just does. Like, the person who's healthy up here is going to convince the rest of their body that everything's good and strong. Okay, so, yeah, God bless America. All right, that's the word. Okay, and you know what? My grandpa always used to say too, there's no rush. There's no rush. And so whatever it is that you like be thinking about that gets you all jazzed and hyped and gets you kind of giddy, like that same kind of like excitement you had when you was a youngin', then like that's probably something that I would encourage you to entertain and apply and explore, because if it's bringing you that like woo and like yeah like hoorah, like, then that's definitely like happening for a reason, and it's probably gonna add more longevity to your life. And you know what? It's also not gonna just benefit you, sweet, gorgeous gal, or beautiful, gentle, handsome man who's ever catching this on the other side of the screen right now. It's actually gonna be a contribution to mankind, because when you live your life and you're doing the thing that makes you genuinely happy, that is so obvious. And people see that, and that either is going to bring people are drawn to you and flock to you, and you're going to be a leader. And people are going to ask you questions, and how did you, and did you always know? And, or you're going to, or you're going to experience all the hate and jealousy of people that want, you know, because have compassion for those that are jealous and envious, because that's just a self-limiting belief that they can't do the same thing that you did. It's just have compassion for that person, no matter who it is, if it's family members, people who are close. Have compassion for those people, because that's literally I don't have clothes. Have compassion for those peeps, because it's just only a self-limiting belief that they can't, or they're not, or it's too late to try, or they had dreams, and the only matter in difference between you and them, like if they is hating on you, is that they just like for some reason kept telling themselves that they're not worthy of following their dreams. And that's like a bummer. But like that eats away at a person the more they live. And then that's why sometimes you see like so much bitterness in a person at an older like age, you know, or like not like necessarily older, but like sometimes that's definitely going to eat away at somebody and their mentality the longer they live. It's like we can all sit down at the dinner table and eat the main course, and we all deserve dessert too. But like the people who believe that they deserve the dessert are going to be like, "Oh, may I please? Yes, I would like the souffle and the creme brulee and the raspberry tart. And then the other person's like, well, how come you get the sweet desserts? Like, how come? And then it's like, because I asked and I received, and I believed that I deserved the dessert. You only got the main course meal and the entree, which I'm sure that was nutritious. I'm sure that served its purpose. I'm sure that it was adequate. And, sure, you got the appetizers too, and you lived your life. You lived your life at the dinner table, for sure. Like, analogy, metaphor here. So they're watching you like enjoy that raspberry tart, souffle, creme brulee, vanilla ice cream, vanilla bean on the side, whatever your favorite, dessert is. Humor me for a sec, and they're watching you eat it, and they could have ordered it too. They could have spoken up and said, "May I have that, please?" It's like people wait for permission to let other people tell them that they can go live their dreams, but it's just a self-limiting belief. Actually, this used to be a dress, this like plaid thing, but I always like to cut all of my clothes, so that's why I don't know, I just like upcycle and like have fun and create clothes, and like I want to make my own fashion line, so I always just like textiles and fabrics, and it's just fun to like see what can happen. Yeah, you're worthy of that dessert, baby boo. We just have to like knock on the chef's door and say, "Hi, we got the dinner and appetizers, and the drinks were lovely. Thank you so much. Can we see the menu, please, for the desserts?" And like, bam, boom, baby doll, like bada bing, bada boom, and that is and then you're gonna enjoy the dessert because you believed. Knock on the door and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. But we have to believe first that we're worthy of pursuing our dreams, and not wait for permission to really do what we want to do in life. And the enemy is always going to be feeding you doubt and anxiety and confusion on your way up to chasing your dreams. And you're going to, when you are brave enough and courageous enough to do this, you will experience attacks upon attacks upon attacks upon attacks. I could go on forever and ever. This is the life of the chosen. This is the reality of those who are close with God. Being a Christian is not easy. It's all about self-edification, is like literally what I was just hearing. It's like you're like constantly self-edifying. So like you're eating the dessert, but you're also kind of like wiping the corners of your mouth and being like, and like always making sure that like you're self-edifying and pleasing God with our thoughts, actions, and words. I pray for that every day. Pray for that every day. Every day. Every day. So, well, we got Bible verses. We're going to experience, we're going to experience tragedy with victory. Victory comes with tragedy. Tragedy comes, and then it's in the same token in line as victory. In Dodgeball, when Ben Stiller is like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. So if you bleed, sweat, and cry enough, you're going to be like proud of the scars that you see on your own body, because somebody like saw how hard you was working to make everything happen and occur, and in kind of like a sick, twisted, dark way, like that motivated them enough to try and stop you. And take that as encouragement. Take that as a feather in your cap, a pin on your soldier uniform, breast pocket thing. And take that as, that's when you're making people attack you, you're not making people attack you, but when you're working so hard and you're shining so bright and you're just absolutely who you are authentically and chasing your dreams, you're contributing to mankind more than you might consider, more than you might know, because yeah, bruh, like that's either gonna, like I said, it's either gonna have people flock to you and ask questions, and you're gonna be a leader to those people. And like, how did you always know? And was it really like this? And how should I start? And etc. And or you're going to receive the people who, for some reason, just don't believe that they can also do the same thing, and instead respond in a lower vibration. These people that are inspired by you, that's beautiful. They're responding out of high vibration, and then flocking to you as a leader and saying, man, I really see what you got going. How did you start this? And were you and they're going to have questions because they're inspired. That's a high vibration response. Envy and jealousy and hatred and those doing witchcraft on you and gang stalking and targeting individuals, arguably that's a mental illness and personality disorder as well. It's a lower vibrational response to where they don't believe that they have the same ability. But we all have the God-given ability to tap into gifts, because every person is built and born with a plan to prosper and to have a future and a hope. And God doesn't want any harm to come in their way. We do have free will, however, in life. So you get the choice every single day. Do I do evil or do I do righteous? Do I do good or do I do bad? Do I respond with a high vibration or a low vibration? This is the free will that we have on earth. And so consider it a blessing when you're persecuted, because you know that that's going to be an eternal reward in heaven. And never let it discourage you. Never let it even begin the inkling of defeat in your mind. Because you're so strong and you're contributing to mankind in the way that God plans, and that's so beautiful. That's absolutely so beautiful. You're making God smile when you do that. And so I like this one a lot. 1 Timothy 6:12 through 16. Fight the good fight of the faith. Fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called and about which you were made. Why am I like blind? I feel like my parents. Like, Mom, Dad, look. Like, look at my social, or like something, and they're like, take hold of the eternal life to which you were called and about which you were made, the good confession in the presence of many witnesses. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's witnesses, those who respond out of high vibration and see that you're doing the thing that brings you joy and fulfillment. That's a witness. And then you're inspiring them to be in the same path of following what they were meant to do and using their God-given gifts. I charge you in the presence of God, who gives life to all things, and of Christ Jesus, who in his testimony before Pontius Pilate made the good confession, to keep the commandment unstained and free from reproach until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ, which he will display at the proper time. He who is blessed and only sovereign, the King of kings and Lord of lords, who alone has immortality, who dwells in inapproachable light, whom no one has ever seen or can see. To him be honor and eternal dominion. Amen. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then, you know how I was saying that tragedy and victory are going to be both things that we experience and we can't escape one or the other? You're never going to have a life that's, of course, and I know you know this, but sometimes we want everything to be good, of course. It's just when you have victory after victory after victory, you can expect some type of testing in order to keep that victory, and you'll be tested with fire, and then you have temperance. So when we integrate the bad in life, the yin with the yang, the aggressive with the peace, it does something in us where we master our own emotions and we master our own mental powers of, I can handle this. This is a lot, and this is really annoying that this is happening right now. I'm not gonna absorb this negativity. I'm gonna not engage, and I'm going to. I know like this is a lot right now. It's like annoying, and it's like really hard. Like whatever, because life be like that. Whatever it is that you might be experiencing even today, but it's like I'm gonna figure out how to go to my quiet place as soon as possible after this annoying thing that's happening right now, and find that equilibrium again by finding that temperance, because I felt the flames, but it didn't burn me. And we will walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but we will not be burned. So sometimes it really seems like there's just annoying biatches out here or whatever, like that are just like pests and crabs in the bucket. But it's like that is all actual paychecks to our high vibes, but we have to just transmute it into a paycheck. But they're trying to feed you coins. They're trying to, like, high vibrational people that are inspired, they're going to send you kind, encouraging words. That's like high money paycheck. That's like cash dollars and dough and lettuce. That's high vibration. And then the people that are like coming at you, that are like the things that really happen that just seem like it literally was there just to annoy you. I know exactly how that feels. We all do, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's actually a paycheck to you. It's just coming in a lower vibrational form. And then it's up to us to be holding the temperance and take the yang that they gave us, and then, take a shower, whatever, or cook a home cooked meal, make a home cooked meal, do a jigsaw puzzle, whatever you need to do to like kind of let your mind float and like maybe do like a menial task, and your focus is on cleaning the kitchen table, and then you're just like brushing off like the court date or the thing that your boss really didn't need to say, but like he did or she did, and it was lower vibrational, but it's still a paycheck because it's just lower vibrational. They're just paying you in coins. And then we got to go to our own little space in our, like inner dwelling in order to like take the coins that they gave us, the pennies and nickels and dimes, and then turn it into cash dollar bills. And then we're like, okay, cool. So they're actually inspired by me, but because they don't have the belief in themselves that they can do the same thing, they're actually giving me energy. It's just in a lower vibrational form, and it's an illusion. It's just an illusion. But any hate that anybody gives you, it's actually feeding more temperance into you and teaching you how to be even more fortified. Yes, I know it can be very, very annoying. And draining. Have I said draining? So that's why taking care of ourselves requires balance and good health and a good state of mind. requires balance. And it's a good thing that we have enemies. It's a good thing we experience pain. My grandpa, like, always said, what's the point in not being optimistic? What's the point? You're going to have more energy and positive thoughts, and everything happening out here is more positive. You create luck. Say you're driving and you're on the way home and you can't find your fob, like, thingy. Like, you know, like, I've never had, like, a lifestyle like this, but, like, some people, like, have, like, a car and a garage, and, like, it opens the door. But then, like, say you're driving home from work or a party, you know, something fun, and you, like, can't find the fob thing, and you can't get into the garage and park safely at home if you can't open the door. But it's like, if you just think, it'll pop up. It's in here somewhere, and you don't panic. Those who exercise faith do not panic. That's what's so badass about being a Christian, dude. That's what's literally boom, mic drop. Like, those who exercise faith do not panic. And then you're like, like, it'll pop up, and you're driving, and you're like, the little fog thing, it'll totally pop up. And then, because you're creating, like, the synapses of positivity and not panicking, your guides and your ancestors and God and all the positive principalities of the world are gonna synchronize to that and, like, connect to that and respond to that with more positivity, because you're already positive. So it's easy to link up like a puzzle piece and be happy and connected and positive with you. And then you actually start to see, like, oh, like, there's, like, a sale at my favorite coffee place. My hometown has this coffee shop called The Human Bean, and they always give, like, little coffee beans. And so, like, and then you're, like, driving home, and you're, like, and it says, like, 2 for $3 Thursday drinks, 1 for you and your best friend. And you're like, what? They never do that. That's so cool. That's really, I get buy one, get one half off. Well, cool. Let me just stop in and pick up that deal. And, like, you happen to see that because you weren't worrying about, you're not like, where the is the fob? And you're, like, sitting in a traffic light and trying to find, like, the fob key or something. And you're not doing that. You're not panicking because you have faith and you're exercising it. And notice that the word is used exercise, not just you have faith. I have faith. Like, people who are like, I have faith. It's like, nah, man, we exercise faith. We don't just, like, have a gym membership, brah. We lift those weights, brah. And, okay. And then you're like driving, and you're like, do, and then you're like, oh man, buy one, get one half off. Well, I might as well pick one up for my bestie, and I'll take a drink too, a little coffee. Sounds good. And then you're like, well, let me just go, like, stop by my bestie's house real quick and drop off a free coffee. And then you're like, hey, like, I'm just dropping this off. It was like buy one get one half off, and then it makes her day or his day, and then as you're getting out of the car, you, like, get out of the car, and then you hear something, like, drop, and then you're like, oh, there's the fob key. So I'm literally here to tell you, and, like, literally describing to you with a little made up scenario, that we create our own luck. We literally create our own reality with our thoughts. So what's the point in not being optimistic? Integrate in order to be great. No matter what people throw at you, no matter what javelins or spears, weapons that try and prosper against you, sure, they may form a tiny bit, but then we use that little bit of formation and integrate it to being great. And that's added to our temperance. And we're even more of a queen or a king in our emotional regulation. And despite how much, people are constantly, like, haters, the hater types, we all experience that. I love my haters. I love my enemies. I pray for them. I ask that they get everything they deserve and more. like everything they desire and more, and that they live a blessed life. And because they've helped me get this far, and they've helped me become a stronger woman. No matter how annoying or like low vibrational it seemed in the moment, that was an illusion. It's an illusion. And it's a very good thing to experience pain. And we've all sort of seen sometimes how things are, you've heard the saying, a blessing in disguise. So yeah, like consider how the thing that might seem super unfortunate, and maybe it is unfortunate, in the moment, like consider how this like bummer thing right now is maybe something that turns into a blessing, but it just kind of is like going to take a couple of days or a couple of weeks for it to come to fruition, and for us to see it that way. Or like, for example, last night I was really kind of pissed off that like I was literally just putting something in the fridge, and I like kind of like yanked my like muscle on my like my inner knee, and it's like that knee never has issues, and I was like, what the heck? Like that was so random. Like I literally just like I literally just like bent down for like a second and like put something in the fridge, and I like kind of like tore the muscle like a tiny little bit, but it was like the way it was pivoted or something. And then I was like, kind of like, are you kidding me? Like right now, because you know nobody likes to get injured or like or feel pain, but it's like actually I'm meant to be resting, and I meant to like be resting, and so that's why I was like, oh, okay, so cool, I see how that worked out. But like I had to fight like the negative like feeling last night of like, are you kidding me? I just put something in the fridge and I like tore like a little bit of the muscle. Like what? Granted, the fridge is like kind of awkwardly placed. So I've been praying for a fridge that like you open like this, and then like the food is here. Like freezer's on the bottom. Like in the fridge I have like right now. Like I'm blessed that I have a working fridge. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But I've just been praying for a fridge that has like right here, because my hips are so sensitive from all of the long boarding, skateboarding, and just that traumatic injury I had like a year ago with slamming into the subway pillar. If you caught that live a couple days ago, I shared about that. And so that's even like a weapon that was thrown at me that didn't prosper, but it definitely formed, and I've learned how to integrate it so I can be great. I was like, I have no other choice. Like we that's the thing too, is we're going to have these tragedies in life. We're going to experience suffering. We're going to experience injuries. We're going to experience hateful, mean comments online. We're going to experience people who work behind the scenes to send you the evil eye. I mean, people will do the most, especially to those who seem really close with God, especially to those who seem really confident. People will do the most to that kind of individual, especially men. Just why I appreciate men and kings in that manner so much, because golly, do you guys get like real hate, you know? But a good man is a really dangerous man, and I mean that in a great way, because so many men get like the bad rap of like, oh, he's just arrogant and cocky, and it's like, no. He literally earned his stripes. You know what I'm saying? And that is an arrogance. That's a godly confidence. And I don't know. I really appreciate that about men. Because what I'm saying is like enemies and people who like want to bring powerful people down might kind of like want to take out, because might want to take out like the man first before the woman, because the man represents so much stability and power, and like, say, for example, those who are fighting, like my grandpa, he was lieutenant. Let me double check his ranking really quick. But like in a battlefield, like the people that the opponents of the war, they're not gonna go for the enlisted army. They're not gonna go for the enlisted soldiers first. Those are a lower ranking, and not to diminish them, it just is like that's the hierarchy. And they're gonna go for the ones in command, giving the enlisted soldiers instructions. Let me double check his ranking. Yeah, men are cool. Men are super cool. I don't know. What I appreciate about men is that, like, y'all wear your pain so damn well. You would never know that you're in pain. Yeah, and my grandpa went to Harvard Business School and graduated from MIT. Optimism. You see how it creates more luck and blessings and accomplishments? Because he always was optimistic. He never let defeat get him, you know? It's in here somewhere. Lieutenant commander of a battalion of 5,000 Seabees, charged with loading and unloading ships, supplying the Pacific Theater. Lieutenant commander of a battalion of 5,000 Seabees. What's a Seabee? It's a type of battalion. United States Naval Construction Battalion, better known as the Navy Seabees, form the U.S. Naval Construction Force. The Seabee nickname is a paragraph of the initial letter Seabee, from the words construction battalion. Founded in 1942. What do Seabees do? Seabees provide a wide range of construction in support of operating forces. Oh, interesting. So they're like, huh. Okay, that makes sense. What are Seabees called now? Construction Battalion. You'll be a part of the team that crafts the Navy infrastructure from the ground up and paves the way, literally, to victory. Wow. So, wow. So all that to say is that when you're like fighting a war and like we do in this life, it's just an illusion of high principalities, evil forces, and cosmic powers. And they're going to go for those that are higher ranking, lieutenant commanders, sergeants. I don't know what's higher about that. But, you know, the higher ranking ones. And so what does that tell you? What does that tell you? The harder you work, the more you're going to get attacked. Because the higher ranking you are, the more of a target you are. But that's also your badge of honor. And so the stronger you become, the higher you go, the more you're hated, the more you're feared, the more you're loved. At the same time, the higher you climb and fight against these, you know, slaying demons and covens and sit-down secret societies and all the darker, evil cosmic powers fighting against the righteous and the good, the more you're actually fortifying your mind, because your temperance has been built off of all the lower vibration hits. I'm like seeing like when a blacksmith, like 18th century, 19th century, when they're like creating like a sword out of like the fire. It's like the more that the sword, like a blacksmith is like putting into the flames and the fire, and then hitting and shaping the sword into a pristine and precise, beautiful, sharp weapon. It had to go through those blows, and it had to go through the fire to become a like really powerful, sharp sword. That is also your form of protection. And so tragedy, victory, you're going to experience both. And it's to be expected to be attacked the harder you work and the more you become who you are. So it seems like a paradox to live this life. It's like, be happy, do what you want, and then you like go and do that, and then you get hated hella for it. And it's like, wait, I thought my preschool teachers and stuff and like teachers said to do what makes me happy. I thought my parents said I want to see what makes you happy. But why is it that like I'm getting left out of these like family reunions, like now that I'm successful? And why? Wait a minute, I thought everyone said to do what makes me happy. And it's like that people do want to see that, and like that is the rhetoric in society is to like live your dreams, chase your dreams, and be authentically who you are so you can contribute the gifts that God gave you back to mankind. However, unfortunately, not everyone has the belief in themselves to do that. And so you're going to experience the lower vibrational attacks. The higher up you go, you also get a lot of love. You'll inspire people. You'll piss a lot of people off by standing in your truth and practicing boundaries. Yeah. Okay. You cannot have happiness without deep, deep sorrow. You wouldn't know the taste of a yummy, delicious Granny Smith apple if you ever you wouldn't appreciate like the deliciousness of like this is such a just picked Granny Smith apple from the tree if you had never had like a taste of a bad apple. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my grandpa really inspired me because I told him all about law school and wanting to be a lawyer, and he always believed in me. Really beautiful relationship. But we got the last couple Bible verses, and then we'll close out. I just want to share too with you guys, just like give myself a pat on the back. Today is my 8th day of eating clean, and I feel so good, brah. I feel so good, brah. I feel so good. Like so much more energy and focus. I kept thinking that the problem in my life was that I just didn't have enough money or love or materialistic things or opportunities, but actually I just needed to stop doing some things, and then my life like feels like I have money now or something. Like it feels like I created my own like luck again, or it feels like I created the high vibration. I thought the way to get to high vibration and feel better was if I just had money, or if I just had a partner, or if I just had I don't know, like materialistic. I was like I need like the car and the house and like clothes, and I wanna just like go out and swipe the debit card just to like feel like a person or feel better, or get validated by society or whatever. I kept thinking that I needed something, but actually all I needed was to stop doing some things. And so I just wanted to like give myself a pat on the back and share with you guys that I feel really good recently. I'm proud of myself. Because it wasn't easy to give up cannabis, and it wasn't easy to give up junk food. I mean, I like to eat healthy, so it wasn't that hard to give up junk food. I just had to like realize that I started the habit of eating what was like right there and easiest. And letting go of habits actually feels like now I'm creating more an ability to do the things that I want to do, because now I have the energy and I need the space for those other things like moving or relocating. And it just feels like really good to have mental clarity and focus and like energy again. So giving myself a pat on the back for eating clean and drinking lots of water and giving up cannabis. So this has been a really good year for me so far. I quit cigarettes March 15th, 2024, and then I quit cannabis, I would say like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I didn't quite catch the exact date. It was a Sunday. It was my last smoking day. And I just felt so guilty. I was like, I'm not even enjoying this anymore. It's like 6 years of doing something, realizing that you're doing something every day that's not serving you. And it kept me isolated. It kept me paranoid. It kept me, and I thought it was helping my mood regulation. That's what I always told everybody. Oh, cannabis helps my mind slow down because I think so fast. And I do think fast. I do. But I found other ways to slow down, like meditating. And yeah, that's the other habit I brought in. It's like legit meditating, and being quiet, just silence. Just what comes to me if I'm quiet is powerful. Bible verses. There's one, Ezekiel. So yeah, this is what I'm going to leave you all with. Remember that the good and the bad is always going to be in life, and it's up to us to take the lower vibrational and recognize it as an illusion of the moment, that's lower vibrational, but really it's a paycheck. It's giving you energy. It's giving you, they're giving you recognition. They just don't, when you're getting hate, like haters and like that energy and that judgment and like that feeling that you get, you know what I'm talking about? That's their version of being inspired by you. Okay. So listen to this. The soul who sins shall die. This is Ezekiel 18:20. The soul who sins shall die. The son shall not suffer for the iniquity of the father, nor the father suffer for the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon himself. And I want to leave you with the encouragement that no matter how much wickedness you might currently be experiencing, or suffering, or anguish, or confusion, or despair, know that, the wickedness will be upon the wickedness. And so long as you demand optimism up here, you're going to have, the universe is going to have your back if you're positive up here, and the righteousness will be on the righteousness of the righteous will be upon himself. So think good, and good will come, vice versa. And so we have this option in life. We have the free will of thinking positive or thinking not positive. And never get defeated or discouraged by those who are just giving you wickedness and operating in wickedness and trying to take you out over and over and over and over a period of years, and doing potions, and they have a picture of you on an altar, and there's an entire coven and secret society just working and collaborating and having meetings, just figuring out how to get you to frown because you're happy in who you are. That is the gift God gave you, and God bless you for getting to that point of being self-sufficient with who you are and being happy. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to feel good. So pray for your enemies. That's the other thing too. Having the heart of Christ. Pray for your enemies. Pray for those attacking you. Pray for those cursing you. they want to be happy too, but for some reason, whatever reason it is, they've chosen the self-will, the free will of the darker side and operate through envy and jealousy in the world. And it doesn't feel good when we like feel that from them. It doesn't feel good, right? So know that that's an illusion. They're actually inspired by you. They just don't know how to like turn the tragedy they feel into victory. They could have the victory, but they're choosing the free will to be in the yang, whereas you're in the yin. You're in the optimistic, positive arena, and you choose that every day. And people, the more you practice that, the more momentum you're going to gain, the more people will flock to you, ask you questions, and the stronger you stand as a leader. So God bless you for that. I love you guys so much. And you know what comes next? Stay safe, stay blessed, stay chosen. Peace. And I'll see you at the top, baby. I'll see you at the top. Stay chosen. Peace.